Well, it's a cold winter day in the Midwest, but it actually was sunny for a change. I had to get out this 67 Mercury Park Lane Brougham, finished in a color called sage gold in this evening light, because it's just absolutely beautiful. You can see it's kind of this greeny, goldy, beautiful metallic paint. I've had this car probably for about 8 or 9 years. It's, as I said, a 67 Park Lane Brougham, not highly optioned. It just has power steering. It also has AM radio, intermittent wipers, cornering lights, and that's pretty much it. Oh, it also had white wall tires. But I had this car repainted by Masterworks in Madison Heights, Michigan, and they did a wonderful job on it. I've known the owners for a number of years now, and it just came out stellar. The car was a barn find. It had no rust at all. Actually, the lower on the car has not been repainted. It's just that it had a number of dings and dents and pock marks and scrapes. But all the chrome and everything is original, taillights, badging, all of that. And you can see it's just in phenomenal shape. It just had sat and picked up a few scrapes along the way, a little too much for how nice the rest of the car was. There's still the original dealer sticker on it, low fink Mercury from Carthage, New York, in the dealer plate. You can see it there. These are some of my favorite cars. You've been watching the channel, you know that. They drive absolutely phenomenally well, extremely smooth. 67 was the last year for the Mercury only 410 cubic inch V8. They had this 410 was standard in the park lanes, the 390 was standard in the Monterey's. You can see here the cool badging with the faux wood grain in the middle there. Later, the faux wood grain would extend to this lower molding, but in 67, this lower molding was just kind of this stainless with a black stripe, and also you see the red lettering on the wheel covers here, Mercury. Often that's worn off. But they drive phenomenally well. Here's a cloisonne badge, the Park Lane. And they're so smooth. This FE engine, especially the 410, is wonderful. Only downside of the 67s is it's the first year of the Autolite 4300 carburetor, and I believe they're 474 CFM. That's it. So you're probably better off to put an Edelbrock on here or a Holly or something, and maybe I will at some point. But the car runs just fine as it is, and you can see the cornering light. If you didn't get a cornering light, there wasn't that lens there. It just was kind of like a fish gill look. And then on the inside is the wonderful part about this car. You have this biscuit pleating on the seats. It is faux wood grain, but it looks very convincing and handsome. There's a back armrest. There's no center armrest in 67 on the front seat. In 68 on the Park Lane Broughams, there was. You could get the twin comfort lounge seat option in 68. And this car, I guess it's ticked over 18,000 miles now, 18,002 miles. No AC, just has heat. But with the four-door hardtop, it doesn't really matter much. You can see the flower pot wheel with the Mercury badge in the middle. That was a one-year-only wheel on all Fords, and the safety door handle that swings out to open the door. This car doesn't have power windows, has manual windows, manual vent windows, but a beautiful door panel with this handle that's shared with the Continental, and I believe a one-year-only mirror. It also has this moon, I think it's Moon Rock is the name of the headliner, kind of a pebbly grain, padded A-pillars as you see, so you don't bump your head when you get out and in a crash. Door jambs are in great shape. And here I'll show you the cornering light so you can see what it looks like illuminated. And there you go. Pretty bright. It's effective. One of those options that you see on some cars still, but not as much as you used to, even up through the 80s. You can see it has the cold light. Let's take a look under the hood at the last year of the 410 V8. It's effectively a 390 with a 428 crank. It made 330 gross horsepower in 67. The 428 was the optional engine in these that made 345 gross horsepower. In 68, they would eliminate the 410 and just have the 390 for Venturi. That's what the 4V stands for, as the standard engine, which would make 315 horsepower. And you can see the firewall tag is still there and in nice shape. This car was built in Canada. As I said, it has no air conditioning. It just has a 2-row radiator, pretty thin, but it works just fine. It's still the original radiator and it cools very well. Car still has the original underhood pad. Doesn't look all that great, but the hood itself and the sheet metal is in great shape, as is the radiator support, the header panel, all the trim. It just looks so great in this evening light with this color. And a few details. You can see that's the intermittent wiper that I just pointed to on the firewall there. And it still works on this car. It's not a continuous wipe like the Mark IIIs and Thunderbirds, and you can also see the Mercury head on the washer bottle. They went away from the bag, and they have this plastic washer bottle with that beautifully sculpted Mercury head on there. Let's close the hood up. And we'll take one more look around it. Again, these Park Lane Broughams are super rare, particularly in hardtop form like this. Only about a few thousand made every year and only available in 67 and 68. In 68, the Park Lane name would go away and the marquee would take over. You can see a spacious back seat as well with the lights in the sail panel. But as I said, the marquee would take over as Mercury's range-topping automobile in 1969, and they did have a marquee Brougham. There was not a Grand Marquee until 1974 when that became an optional trim package on the marquee slotted above the marquee Brougham. But here I love these vertical tail lights. Some say they're inspired by Cadillac, others say they're inspired by the 64 Pontiac, which was arguably a copy of the Cadillac. This GM in its top-of-the-line cars was going through this phase where they wanted the vertical theme, like on the Olds 98 as well. In any case, we'll get this car out for a drive when the salt is off the roads, but I wanted to show it to you in this evening light. It's just so absolutely gorgeous. And you can see here, Brougham, right on the vinyl roof. Thanks again for watching this video. Till next time, take care. Thanks again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned as the weather warms. I'll get this car and we'll take it for a drive and do a full review. Till then, be sure to check out the video thumbnails at bottom left and right for some suggestions for you.